Reading from the Japa Reform Notebook by His Holiness Satswarup Das Goswami Maharaj. We may wonder, oh, I have been chanting for so long. Why don't I feel effect? This is why. Srila Prabhupada said, you can chant vociferously for millions of years and not make advancement if you do not chant as a devotee and try to avoid these offenses. We may make a mistake that can be rectified, but if you actually plan to make a career of chanting Hare Krishna and breaking the rules, then you will not advance at all. It will ruin your devotional creeper. Be honest and sincere. The Shastras are so deep, people cannot understand them. Even the sages at Naimisharanya are asking, please explain them to us. Therefore, to simply follow the scriptures is not sufficient, but you have to follow someone who can explain the scriptures. Mahajano yena gataha sapantha.
To be inattentive while chanting is one thing. To be insincere is another thing. Insincerity is far more serious than inattentiveness. Inattentiveness, carelessness, maybe forgivable. Understanding the conditioned soul's dull nature, and he is driven by the three gunas. So somebody may be careless because of being in tamoguna. Tamoguna is actually dullness. Due to dullness, we may be sleepy, or we may be inattentive, we may be careless. And definitely one has to make an effort to come out of such a shell. But insincerity is a far more serious thing, because it's a deliberate cheating. It's a plan that is made in advance to cheat. Like when Vritrasura was to be killed, all the demigods and all the sages, they came together and requested Indra. Oh Indra, this Asura is tormenting all of us, please kindly protect us, save us. And please kill him. But then Indra said, he is a Mahabhagavat. He is speaking such eloquent glorification of the Supreme Lord. How I can kill him? Killing a Mahabhagavat is actually a Brahmahatya. They said, Lord Narayana's name is so powerful that once you finish him, then we will conduct a big yajna for Lord Narayana and chant his holy names. And there is nothing in this creation that can stand in front of Narayana's names. All your sinful reactions will be wiped out by our chanting of the holy name. You go ahead, we are here, they said. Then Indra took the Vajra and attacked Vritrasura. And with great difficulty, as soon as he killed him, Vritrasura went into Samadhi. Indra had to go around his neck for several years, for a long period of time. At last, because he was in yogic Samadhi, it was very difficult to cut his neck. And he did that. But then immediately the personified form of sin, in the form of an old lady with tuberculosis, coughing, mucus and blood, she started chasing after Indra, because personified sin. She wanted to capture him and punish him. And Indra was running from pillar to post. He ran to heaven and underwater. Everywhere he went. He entered into gufas. Everywhere he went, she was following. But what happened to those sages and demigods and everybody who assured him? They all ran away. Once Vritrasura was saved, their job was over. Vritrasura was killed, their job was over. They induced him to commit the seventh offence, committing sin on the strength of the holy name, but they all ran away. Nobody was there. At last, Indra had to go to Manasarovar lake and enter into the lotus, and went into the depths of the lotus fibers where Lakshmiji, goddess of fortune, is sitting. And he fell at her feet and, oh, universal mother, I don't find any shelter, any protection anywhere other than your lotus feet. Then she gave him shelter at her feet for 1,000 years. And in those 1,000 years, because the lotus stem was under the water, the Agni could not bring his sacrificial offerings of various yajnas to him inside the water. So that, which means he was starving for 1,000 years, foodless, because of that aparadha that he committed. And after such long enduring, long tapasya, at last he was saved. So the whole idea is, here is an example from the Shastra of somebody who is deliberately John Bujikar committing aparadha, committing sin. This is considered the seventh offense. Just like Indra is taking away the sacrificial horse from Prithu's sacrifice. It's not a superficial mistake or unknowingly committed mistake. It is a deliberate plan for cheating Prithu. Ravana is coming in the form of a mendicant to the forest to kidnap Sita. It is not a innocently done thing. It's a very cunning and diplomatic and duplicitous behavior, which is unforgivable practically. So, because taking on imagine if a policeman, if a thief dresses up like a policeman, and sometimes terrorists do that. They dress exactly like the police people, khaki with topi and carrying a gun in the hand. They look like police. They even use the police van sometimes to go here and there. So people will be thinking here is the police, but who are they? Terrorists. So then they become far more severely punishable than the innocent thieves. So that's why the seventh offense is a very terrible one. At least in the path of spiritual life, we are offered opportunity and shelter to chant the holy name, purify our heart and go back to God. After coming to spiritual life, one should not do such duplicitous things, taking advantage of the faith of the other people, or taking advantage of the compassionate nature of the holy name. We cannot take the holy name and make a carrier for committing sin, thinking that I can go on in the garb of a religious man. We can't afford to do that. Therefore, the seventh offense is such a serious thing that one should sit and contemplate and deeply think, what are all the duplicitous natures that I have in my life? Whom am I trying to cheat? Am I trying to cheat Guru? Am I trying to cheat the Vaishnavas? Am I trying to cheat the common people? What are all the cheating natures in me? And we have to pluck out those cheating natures like removing a thorn. Because without that, we just cannot progress at all. What to speak of progressing, we are actually degrading by such a mentality. Because the thief may be caught and put behind the bars. When he comes out again, he will steal. Unless thief himself decides that I am going to stop stealing anymore. If he has a heart change or a heart transformation, reformation, then there is a possibility that he will not steal. Otherwise, with any amount of so-called superficial punishments and supervision and capturing him, all these things are all useless. So the seventh offense is, Prabhupada says that about it in many places. Namno baladyasihi papa buddhihi. That papa buddhi should be given up. And one should chant the holy name and beg for the mercy. Holy name is ready to forgive us. But if you are repeatedly doing a drama of asking forgiveness, that would also be seventh offense. So let us seek forgiveness and let us become more alert and cautious not to allow these duplicitous and cunning natures to overpower our spiritual life. Harinam Prabhu ki